Nick, you're a self-proclaimed racist or racialist. Do you think America should bring back segregation?
No, but what I would say is that people should have the right to live among their own people. And I think that sort of a loaded question, which is a fair question, but what we are undergoing right now is the greatest sociological experiment in world history, which is to say that we all know that in 1965, America was a 90% white country, 90% white, 10% black, and maybe a little bit in the middle there was Hispanic, Asian. People really don't understand that. It was 90% white and mostly Christian. And people can feel however they want about it. Now we're a 60% white country. And in 10, 15 years, we're going to be a 50% white country. Now, think about how much changes with that. These are people that came here largely through immigration. They speak different languages. They have different alphabets. They don't even use the same letters. They come from different continents. They have different religions, different customs, holidays, heroes. They have a different sense of humor. They have a different look. Everything about them is different. And we're basically being told that we have to accept this transformation. Your neighborhood that was one way, that was a Christian white neighborhood, is now going to be a 80% Indian neighborhood, or now it's going to be 80% Somali, or now it's going to be 80% Mexican. And now all the signs are going to be in Arabic. And now the mayoral candidate is going to be fighting with clan warfare with this other Somali people. And now you're going to be celebrating Diwali in your subdivision instead of Christmas. And people are starting to say, wait a second. This doesn't feel like America. America's apple pie and baseball and Merry Christmas and Marshall Fields. You know, we're in Chicago after all. People are saying, I don't like that this is happening in my neighborhood. I want to go somewhere where it feels like America. But it turns out you can't do that. Because if you want to set up shop in a neighborhood and say, this is where it's going to be white people and we're going to have our white culture and our Christian culture, that's called segregation. That's called white supremacy. That's called white nationalism. But I would say, how is it fair that you have entire neighborhoods called Little Haiti, Little Cuba, Little this, that, the other, and they set up an ethnic enclave and they make it very comfortable for themselves. They have their parades, they have their... But if white people want to go in our own country where our ancestors were at, not mine, but some people's ancestors were here at Jamestown, or they were here at, the Virginia colony. If they want to go and set up a neighborhood, they say, oh, that's racist. I think people